Most women that are trying to balance their hormones or get pregnant are focusing on things like food, supplements, and tracking their cycle. But what a lot of times gets overlooked is one of the biggest drivers of hormone imbalance, and that's the products that you're using on your body every single day. So your skin absorbs what you put on it. And a lot of conventional personal care products are filled with chemicals that can mimic estrogen, they can disrupt ovulation, and they'll really interfere with your fertility. So today I'm going to walk you through 10 of the most common products that women use daily that can disrupt your hormones, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I personally use instead. So if you're new here, I'm Dr. Rachel Wolfe, and I help women to balance their hormones naturally and to prepare their bodies for pregnancy through root cause testing and really by looking at the full picture of their health. And one of the biggest things that we focus on in our clinic is toxic load, because your body really can't balance hormones efficiently or effectively if it's constantly being exposed to these endocrine disrupting chemicals. All right, so let's dive right into it. The first product I'm going to recommend swapping is your deodorant. This is always one of the first things that I have my patients switch, because if you're applying deodorant every single day, where deodorant gets applied to is literally right next to your breast tissue and your lymphatic system. And most conventional deodorants have aluminum in them, which actually blocks your sweat glands, and this prevents you from sweating, which means that you're then not detoxing. A lot of deodorant also contains synthetic fragrance, which oftentimes it's going to have phthalates, and those are chemicals that are linked directly to hormone disruption. So what I use instead, what I've been using for years, is PRIMALLY Pure. It's a non-toxic company that does not use aluminum and does not use any other toxic chemicals inside their deodorant. And I think that out of all the ones I've tried, it works the best. Number two is going to be body lotion. So this is a really big one because your skin is really your largest organ. And a lot of conventional lotions are full of things like parabens, phthalates as well. And parabens are chemicals that can actually mimic estrogen in the body. So this can actually contribute to estrogen dominance. That's something that I talked about in my most recent video. And it's something I see very often in women that are dealing with fertility struggles or any other type of hormone imbalance, especially endometriosis. So what I use instead of lotion is tallow balm, grass-fed tallow balm. And this is one of my favorite swaps because it's so nourishing for the skin. It actually mimics what our skin naturally produces. It's super bioavailable. It's not going to have any synthetic chemicals that can disrupt your hormones, and it's actually a really good option for kids and even babies, especially kids that are dealing with any sort of like skin issue like eczema, even psoriasis, anything like that. So number three is going to be perfume or fragrance. And this is a really big one, especially for women. So when you see the word fragrance on a label, what this means is that they can actually be hiding hundreds of undisclosed chemicals behind that one word. So it could actually have phthalates, it could have other synthetic chemicals in there, and all these chemicals can actually build up in the body and really throw off hormone signaling. So what I suggest instead of using typical perfume is to use essential oils. My favorite company is from CASA. They have amazing essential oils, and all you need to do is just like dab it on your wrist. You could dab it on your neck. Sometimes there's rollers you can get too, which roll right onto the skin. And then you have that natural, nice scent without all the chemicals. And another perk is that essential oils have so many health benefits. So you're actually able to get some health benefits from using that as opposed to a strong fragrance or some sort of perfume. Now, the fourth product I want to talk about that you should switch if you're looking for healthy and happy hormones is your shampoo and conditioner. So hair care can be very toxic. So think about this. If you are washing your hair maybe multiple times a week, it's directly sitting, now whatever you use is directly sitting on your scalp. This has a really high absorption rate compared to the rest of the body. And most conventional shampoos and conditioners out there are going to have sulfates, parabens, synthetic fragrances, and all these different chemicals can really disrupt your scalp barrier. It can actually increase inflammation and can just contribute to your overall toxic load. So the company I love is EVOLVh for hair care. It's super clean, all toxin free, performs great, and it's not going to contain any of those endocrine disrupting ingredients. So now on to number 5 for personal care products that you should swap if you want to improve your fertility and your hormones. This one is toothpaste. So think about if you brush your teeth twice a day, you could be actually adding in so much toxicity into your mouth that you're actually ingesting some of that. And toothpaste is one of the most toxic things we can find in our bathroom a lot of times. A lot of the conventional toothpaste out there are going to have things like fluoride, triclosan, artificial dyes. They add like sweeteners, especially in kids' toothpaste, that they taste good. So, fluoride in particular, I really want to talk about that one because fluoride can actually interfere with your thyroid function. And your thyroid function plays a huge part in hormone balance and your fertility. So, another one is triclosan, which can actually disrupt your hormones. It can disrupt the signaling that's going on in your body. So, what you can do instead is switch to a toxin free toothpaste. The one I love is called RISEWELL, and they actually contain hydroxyapatite, which is a awesome mineral to get into your toothpaste because it's actually going to help to rebuild and really remineralize your teeth as opposed to feeling like you need fluoride, which a lot of times, while fluoride, they put it in toothpaste for that reason, it's actually a neurotoxin. Fluoride not only messes with your thyroid, but it also is a known neurotoxin. So that is not something we should be putting into our mouth twice a day. Now, number 6 is going to be makeup. So this is one of the biggest ones I think that women need to look into because especially if you wear a lot of makeup, many makeup and cosmetic products are going to contain heavy metals. They're going to contain synthetic dyes. Lipstick actually has a ton of lead in it if you use regular conventional lipstick. So, what I suggest switching to is a company called CRUNCHI. It's the only company I use for makeup and skincare, and they're a very high performing line of cosmetics and skincare, and they are very strict with ingredients. So, when it comes to things like foundation, mascara, eyeliner, eyeshadow, even moisturizer for your face, as well as any other sort of normal products you would use to wash your face, wash your body, even with, they've got options for. And it, because it's completely toxin free, you will not be adding anything onto your skin that has a risk of impacting your hormones in a negative way. Now, number 7 is sunscreen. So, especially I live in Florida. When you're in the sun a lot, you want to have a good SPF. But the thing that most people don't realize is while we're told to use SPF to prevent cancer, most SPFs out there actually contain ingredients that are linked directly to cancer. It doesn't make sense. So we want to avoid things like oxybenzone. Oxybenzone is a really common ingredient in SPFs, and it is a known endocrine disruptor. So this means it will mimic estrogen in the body, throw off your hormones. So what you can use instead of these chemical-based sunscreens, is actually a mineral-based sunscreen. I love the non-nano zinc oxide options. CRUNCHI has an awesome one. They have a particular one for your face as well as for your entire body. And what you also want to watch for, not only is it to avoid those chemicals and to switch to a mineral based, but a lot of times there's going to be other like additives and other chemicals that they throw in, many companies, to that sunscreen, which you really don't need. So CRUNCHI is great about making sure that the entire product is actually toxin free and there's nothing in there that's going to disrupt your hormones, nothing in there that's going to increase your risk of cancer. You're only going to get sun protection. All right, now on to number 8. Number 8 is going to be face wash. So, if you're using face wash 1 to 2 times a day, it's going to add up a lot. And a lot of conventional face washes are going to have surfactants, they're going to have fragrance, they're going to have other preservatives that can really throw off your skin barrier and actually impact your microbiome. So, what I love to use is CRUNCHI's, either their charcoal facial bar or their gentle facial bar, both completely toxin free options, and it's a bar. So, not only are you saving your body from all the chemicals, you're also saving the environment from using added plastics, and it's just such an easier way. To have a simple bar in your shower, in your bathroom, and it lasts so much longer than any other products typically do. So that is a great swap if you are somebody that washes your face regularly, to take off your makeup, just to rinse your face. I would definitely look at switching to a bar soap and especially CRUNCHI's because it's all toxin free. Now, on to number nine. Number nine is going to be dry shampoo. A lot of women use different types of dry shampoo, especially the ones that you can spray. Now, if they're in an aerosol can, those are typically pretty toxic. So, not only is it going to be on your scalp, but you're also inhaling it. So, that could be even added toxicity. A lot of dry shampoos out there have talc. This could actually be contaminated with heavy metals. Even like benzene has been found in some aerosol products. So, those are all things we really want to avoid in order to protect our hormones and protect our fertility. So, what I use is actually not even designed to be for dry shampoo, but it works amazing. And it's CRUNCHI's Translucent Powder. So, it's a translucent powder that you can actually dab on your face for over on top of your makeup. But if you just use a very little bit of this powder and just kind of like put it on your scalp or whatever areas you need to get the dry shampoo in, it works amazing. A little bit goes a long way, and it is completely toxin free. Okay, number 10, lastly, the one I want to touch on for women when it comes to personal care products and things you need to swap in order to have healthy hormones and to protect your fertility. This one is tampons and pads. So a lot of tampons and pads are actually made with really harsh chemicals. And especially with tampons, when you're inserting that, you do not want those harsh chemicals in your system, also in a really vulnerable area where it's very important to stay away from toxins because that can certainly impact your fertility. So I would always recommend using 100% cotton. I'm going to link some below of some great brands that you can actually just get on Amazon. Lola is a great brand. There's so many more out there now. But you really want to pay attention to that. So whatever you choose to use for period products, you want to make sure that they're all toxin free and you're not getting any of those harsh chemicals. So when you zoom out and start to look at all these daily products you may be using and how much toxic exposure you really could be adding into your system, it becomes so important to start making safe swaps. Because if we are using chemical or using products that contain these chemicals that are endocrine disruptors, it's going to mess with our ovulation, it's going to throw our hormones off, it can add to estrogen excess and create that estrogen dominance in the body, which can throw off other hormones, throw off our cycle, and seriously impact our fertility. And not just that, but our overall health. So, what you use, what you have in your home is so important. I will link all the things I talked about below so that you can have a stress free journey to starting to swap some of those products over. And something I always suggest is just start with products that you start running out of. It can be very overwhelming to just totally revamp your entire home and revamp all your personal care products. But if you start slowly and start with the products that really matter the most, things like deodorant, things that take up or really are used on the largest surface area of your body, like body wash, as opposed to mascara, right? Switching your body wash is going to make more of an impact faster than switching your mascara will because of how much surface area we cover with body wash and probably how often we use it if we're using it daily. So those are things to think about. Switch a product when you run out. That's your time to do the little bit of research and figure out what you're going to get next. And then also pay attention to which products are really covering the bulk of my body or which things are going to make a larger impact on my health. So in my next video, I'm going to walk you through the most common home products that could be contributing to hormone disruption. So these will be things like cleaning products, like your candles, like air fresheners in the home, all those sorts of things. So I'm going to show you exactly what I use in my home and what can actually make the biggest impact on your fertility and on your hormone journey to make those safe swaps. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it in my next video, and comment below what swaps you start making with your personal care products so I can see what you all are loving.